Okay.
All right, what are the questions? Is that the question paper?
No, Reed wanted to know, he wanted you to elaborate on the whole Jess thing. So, who's Jess?
Jess is this girl who shows up, I don't know, about 4 years ago, maybe only 3 years ago. And she's cute, she's talented, she can sing, and Reed fell in love. But then she fell in love with the dirt merchant, and after him, she slept with JC, and then she slept with Reed. And, you know, she committed pussy suicide. I mean, what else can you call it? I mean, you just don't fuck everybody you live with. It's a horrible thing, and it really detracted. Yeah, it is. It's a horrible thing, and it detracted from her. It detracted from her real journey. You know what she was supposed to be about. She became worried about what does everybody think about me, instead of what do I think about me. Instead of where am I supposed to be going, she kept looking for it reflected in other people's eyes. So that's
So
the story of Jess. And then her last person she got together with was Brownie, and that was ended up very bad for Brownie and very bad for her. They ran away together to New Orleans, and when they came back, no, they never came back. They both ended up on their parents' couches. See, this is totally boring.
No, well, what about Reed and Jess?
I don't know. I don't know what number he was, you know? And the thing about Jess is that she was smart enough not to let all the guys know what she was doing until the very end. And then when she finally left, everybody was like, oh, you too? That's how it ended. Oh, you too? You know what I mean?
Because of her pussy suicide?
Pussy suicide.
I like that yesterday. Pussy suicide.
It's a phenomenon. It is. When you see it, it's kind of like, you know, a meteor shower or something. It doesn't happen often. When it happens, you know, like John Mayer said, sexual napalm. Only she used it on herself.
She sounds like a gem.
And believe it or not, she's not a bad girl. She's just, that was a real learning curve.
So in the video you were, Nelly was wearing one of your tube tops. Tell me about that situation.
Well, I told you, I brought down all these great things. I brought down like a woven headband from the 60s, and I brought down tube tops and everything from the 70s, the disco age. I brought down all this great stuff, and then Nelly somehow got into it, and he put on the tube top, and it really irritated me because I knew he had never been at a disco.
Well, did it irritate you because he'd never been at a disco or because he'd never showered?
Both. He would go for days without showering, and he was a horrible person to live with. And it only got worse and worse and worse as he got more suicidal. So
you thought he was suicidal?
He's obviously suicidal. You don't drink until you throw up blood unless you're suicidal. You don't lay on the ground and have convulsions and decide you need a handle. You know, the next day I need a handle of vodka. Gotta have it. You know. And it was, to me it was ridiculous because Nelly had a really good mom, and his mom and dad had divorced when he was like 20. You know? So it wasn't childhood trauma. I just think it was arrested development. You know, Nelly is a case of arrested development.
So, what was your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Marion Schnickelbrod.
What?
I used that as a pseudonym for like when I would be out partying, you know, and guys come up and hit on you, and you know, oh, what's your name? And if Marion Schnickelbrot didn't throw him off totally, I can remember pulling away from a disco down on Pete Rose Way with this some guy going, "Good night, Marion." No, that's not my name.
Oh, God.
That is not my name.
Oh, God. So,
Oh, I love cigarettes.
so tell me about the discos down about Pete Rose Way.
Oh my God, there were discos everywhere. There was a disco on 8th and Lynn at the top of the Holiday Inn. It was called Lucy in the Skies with Diamonds. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. There was a disco right across the bridge where now it's like the Party Source or something. And yeah, and it was the Glass Menagerie. Hey, that is where Jerry Springer used to stalk people from. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. My girlfriend Sherry leaves the conservatory one night, and you know it's like you drive down the hill and you go and you get onto the I-75 entrance right next to the bridge, and Jerry Springer followed her all the way to Montgomery. Twice. She was like really creeped out by it. He was weird back then. That's back when he wrote the check to the whore. Oh God, this is horrible.
No, it's not. Good shit.
When I came back from Woodstock, my mom put me in a mental asylum. She thought I had lost my mind.
How was that?
What I had done was expanded my mind, you know. But I got home after Woodstock. It was like about 2 or 3 days after Woodstock. I'm sitting on the living room couch, and I was just so tired. Because I had been partying, you know, for 5 or 6 days. I had just straight. And she was kind of yelling at me, and I fell asleep. And the next thing I knew, I was in the back seat of her car with 2 of my brothers on either side. And I kept telling them, well, I'll only go to the hospital if I can have my own phone. Landline, of course. But I broke out of there after just a short time. I went and saw Paul Butterfield and the Blues Band play because, I mean, you can't stay in the psych ward, you know, during that. It was so close. It was right at the zoo.
So the boys party, you party. Tell me the difference between them partying and you partying.
We were a kinder, gentler generation. I mean, we did not well, number one, we had no mosh pits, which is like a big difference. I mean, if you have a generation full of mosh pits and everybody just, you know, like bumping into each other, it was way different. We were all very sensual, you know, dancing by each other, dancing alone in full sensuality, and it was allowed. It was accepted. It was not a problem to just stand up and fly your freak flag, you know? I mean, you could. It was the beginning of accepting all of that. My friends and I accepted all of that. Society, out beyond, you know, the anti-war hippie world, it was a hardcore Richard Nixon world.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I go on these tangents. I start talking about something, I go off on a tangent. Oh, we haven't been recording. All that time and we weren't recording. I'm glad.